Welcome to Once Upon a Case, because the law isn't just for lawyers, it's for everyone. Let's talk about one of the quirkiest cases in contract law, Thomas v. Thomas, from way back in 1842. Imagine this. You're promised something unusual, like a house for just £1 a year. Is that a real deal? Or just a favor? Well, this is the story of how a widow's right to a home changed the way we all think about promises and contracts. So here's what happened. John Thomas dies, and in his will he says he wants his wife, Mrs. Thomas, to stay in their house after he's gone. Sounds fair, right? But here's the twist. His will isn't legally binding when it comes to the house. So the executors, basically the people in charge of John's estate, make a deal with Mrs. Thomas. She can live in the house as long as she pays £1 a year and keeps it in good condition. But then, the executors change their minds. They try to kick her out, saying, hey, that £1 a year? That's just a token. It's not real payment. This isn't a real contract. So off to court they go. And here's where things get interesting. The legal question isn't about the will, it's about the deal between Mrs. Thomas and the executors. Does that £1 a year count as consideration? In plain English, is it enough to make this agreement a real contract? The judges had to decide. Is a tiny payment, made mostly to honor a dead man's wishes, enough to form a binding contract? And the answer, drumroll please, was yes. The court said, as long as there's something of value exchanged, even if it's just £1 a year, it counts. You don't need a fair price, just something, anything, of value. This case is a classic. It shows that you can't just back out of a deal because the payment seems small or silly. If both sides agree and something of value changes hands, the law treats it as a contract. End of story. So next time someone promises you a deal that sounds too good to be true, remember Mrs. Thomas and her £1 a year. Sometimes a little really does mean a lot. That's Thomas v. Thomas, the tiny payment that made a huge impact. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more legal oddities.